We're celebrating 25 years of God's goodness as well. Thank you very much for staying with us through the decades. To the news now. And early this dawn, a group believed to be belonging to the Home Study Group Foundation mounted roadblocks amid burning of tires on the two major roads leading to and from the Volta region. That's the Atimpoku-Japon stretch and the Sogakope stretch. Now, some travelers caught up in the chaos said they spent close to 2 hours in traffic, particularly on the Sogakope stretch. The Western Togoland group also believed to have attacked the Mepe and Aveime police stations in the North Tong constituency. The group, numbering about 50, reportedly made away with weapons kept in the armory. We'll bring you some live updates shortly, but first, co-host of the Super Morning Show, Winston Amor, has joined us in studio to give us some more detail. Winston, what have we gathered?
Well, Daniel, so just as you said, you've talked about how they blocked roads, but we're told now that the roads have been eased, and so traffic is flowing. There's no longer a challenge when it comes to the traffic situation. As early as by 7:45, 8 a.m., the road was open to traffic. Earlier, when we spoke to the Volta Regional Minister, Dr. Archibald Yalecha, he confirmed the situation. And he said that they were dealing with it. Of course, he wasn't going to give us information as to how they were going to deal with it. But eventually, it was dealt with. And we're told that some persons have been arrested. We don't know where they've been taken to. We're still trying to understand where they've been taken to. But we're told the military went to, say, the drop-on stretch of road, picked these persons and took them away.
But it's a bit bizarre, isn't it, Winston? They broke into a police station, an armory, and I understand they stripped an officer naked.
Well, so when we called one of the officers, his phone was picked by someone who introduced himself as a member of the secessionists, and he says that, well, they have the officer's phone now, and our checks had confirmed that also, and we told us some persons had been injured as a result. Daniel, without getting into the details of how the police stations are, protected, we had an instance of Chief Inspector Shilevi, was shot at the Kwabinya police station.
Yeah.
Normally during night duties, you don't have a lot of people there.
Yeah.
And so that probably might explain why the people decided to strike at that point. But there's also been lots of concerns. And I mean, just from the questionings from the Super Morning, people really want to understand what this whole thing means and the antecedents of it. There are lots of people who have said, look, help us understand this. Mm-hmm. Because for many of us, we don't know what the situation is, and so when we hear these things, we think that, okay, so there was a plebiscite in 1956, and by 2006, we expected another plebiscite to make a decision as to whether or not we still want to be part of the Gold Coast. And I say this because, look, I'm a whole boy, right? I'm a whole boy, and I know that part very well. And going through school, one of the things I heard also was that the plebiscite was for 50 years. It was not until I decided to find out, read more, that I realized that it was not for 50 years.
Oh.
It was not for 50 years. So you can read, Emeritus Professor D.E.K. Amenume. He has an article that, he's written extensively about the other people. And I just would share bits and pieces of some of the things he's been saying. So the plebiscite of 1956, which decided, those who are going to be part of then Gold Coast, soon to be Ghana. Mm-hmm. Now, in the Volta region, these are the persons who took part in the current Volta region. The Ho district and the Kpando district. Okay, the Ho district.
So they are the ones who voted.
Who voted. Now, the people of Keta, Anglo, Akachi, Sogakope, the Tong areas.
They did not vote?
They did not vote, and they were originally part of the Gold Coast. This is historical facts that can be checked.
Oh, okay.
They were originally part of the Gold Coast.
But it is people from these same areas who now say they want to secede.
So the point is, if anybody says, for instance, that the whole of the Volta region was part of British Togoland, that isn't the case. But you see, because in our maps, we actually did a Trans-Volta Togoland that consisted of all of them. Mm-hmm. There's always the confusion. If you had been to, when you went to secondary school and you were learning geography, or social studies, you're told, oh, okay, so this is Trans-Volta Togoland.
Yeah.
Or British Trans-Volta Togoland. The point is, after the end of the First World War in 1918, which led to the establishment of the League of Nations, Germany lost all their colonies. Germany lost all their colonies. One of those was Togo. And so I went to Mali school. While in Mali school, we're being taught German. We're taught German. I mean, anybody who wanted to learn German in Mali school could do so until 1998, 1999. But even then, it started again. So that was a German colony. And it was split between the British and the French. So the British added their colony to Ghana, holding it in trust for the people. So in 1956, there were concerns, there were agitations, no, there were petitions that, look, the Ewe people wanted to know their fate, whether they would become part of Gold Coast, some would say, whether they would go and be united with our brothers in Togo, because there were Ewes in original Gold Coast, there were Ewes in British Togoland, and there were Ewes in French Togoland. Okay, so a group said, no, we want to be a federal state that would have a chance to decide later whether we become part of British, French Togoland.
Whether you join the French Togoland.
And another said, wanted to join Ghana. Now watch this carefully. Of British Togoland included a place like Yendi.
Oh.
Yendi, yes.
Yeah, so I understand that a number of the Northerners
chose to go. So it had the Mamprusi areas were part of British Togoland. Some of the Gunjas and the Dagombes. Now, they, together with the Krachi Bwems, voted to be part of Ghana. The Kpandos and the Hos voted not to be part of the then Gold Coast. But because they were voting en bloc, you had a situation where 58%, that's 93,000, said we want to be united with the Gold Coast, and 67,000 said we want to be on
even that was a bit tight. So that's a bit of the historical antecedent to what we know is happening this morning. Let's go to Odia Sempa, who is with JoyNews FM. Odia Sempa, good morning. So tell us, what's the situation as we know now?
Good morning. Good morning, my senior colleague. Right now, I think everything is calm, but just that we had information from the police and some residents around Japan, which is in the constituency of that is North Tonk, that there have been some arrest of some of the perpetrators, I mean the suspectionists, a number of 25 or something. So we got here and what we were being told happens to be the truth. So we are now trying to find out the total number of persons that have been arrested so we can report to you.
Right. I take it the police are yet to speak?
Exactly. They are yet to speak to us. We just got here, and the information that we had earlier is true.
Was confirmed. When you say we got here, where exactly are you?
Right now in Japan, right now, where the incident happened. So we are yet to confront the police.
Is that the only place where the roads were blocked?
Not at all. Around Japan, Accra to Gong, in between that is Sujaman district and then the lower Menya municipality. That is the share boundaries. You know, lower Menya municipality and then the Sujaman district share boundary. So in between that place, they used blocks to block the road, and later on the security agencies came in and they were able to, engage them. So they offload the blocks from the road. So as I speak with you, the police is clear and cars are, going up and down.
Thank you very much, Odia Sempa, for joining us. He works with the JoyNews FM, right in the thick of it. And Winston, it looks like some good news here. Some 25 persons have been picked up. So really, the justification that this group may feel for this is that they feel that in 1956, they only voted this plebiscite for 50 years. This plebiscite, which they did not even take part in the election at all, right?
Well, but Daniel, I just showed you, and I guess would look at. I want to do this so that just by way of information, all of us are learning. So I'm going to quote, for instance, something which I have here, and that talks about a situation. So it says, without prejudice to the eventual solutions that may choose, whether it be independence, unification of an independent Togoland, under French administration, or unification with an independent Gold Coast or some other self-governing with an independent Togo under French administration, or unification with an independent Gold Coast. And that's what we have now.
Okay, so that's the option that's one. Yes. So and it was in perpetuity. It wasn't for a period of time.
It wasn't for 50 years. And for those who doubt this, you can actually Google Emeritus Professor D.E.K. Amenume. He's retired. He used to be at the University of Cape Coast. He's written extensively about the Ewe people, and he explains all of these. In an article he published in 2016, he says, I'm getting involved in all of this because of the misinformation being put out there by people who also go out there and say the whole of the Volta region voted. Meanwhile, it is what? It is British Togoland comprising even the eastern side of the country.
Right. Winston Amwa, thank you very much for those updates. Let's move to other stories. And the Peasant Farmers Association of Ghana have disclosed they are losing hope in political party manifestos. They say the manifestos of the NPP and the NDC, which was launched a few weeks ago, did not address problems such as flooding and how they would deal with them. Speaking to Joy News on the sidelines of the Ghana Federation of Forest and Farm Producers, GAFAP, National Dialogue Series, Head of Programs for the Peasant Farmers Association, Charles Nyaba, said political parties will make promises to farmers and will at the end abandon them.
We are beginning to really lose confidence in political parties' manifestos, because usually when they come, they give very nice promises that they will do A, B, C, D. This issue of the flooding has been on the drawing board for several years, but nothing has happened. If you take NDC, NPP manifesto previously, you see that there were a lot of fantastic issues that they said they were going to do for the agriculture sector when they were in power. By the end of the day, you realize that farmers continue to remain the poorest. Now, just last 2 days, we all saw the sit-down strike that the nurses did and the impact on lives. Imagine farmers are able to also sit down. They say we won't supply food to the market. What would have happened to us? But because farmers are so vulnerable, farmers are scattered, we are not able to do that. Politicians will usually take us for granted because they know that we cannot do the sit-down strike like the formal sector workers do, which is impacting on lives, and then they easily run and attend to us. So our call is that our own is a service, and it's a service to all Ghanaians. We shouldn't just say that, oh, for farming they have no option. The day we allow the agriculture sector to die, I don't think this economy will survive. So we are still looking up to the major political parties to try to see how best they will concretely capture the issue of farmers in their manifesto. If you take the NPP and NDC manifesto, the issue of flooding is not properly addressed. In the NPP mentioned about construction of the Polgo Dam. Construction of the Polgo Dam alone will not address the issue of the flooding. The flooding goes beyond just construction of the dam. We need to be able to implement the 50 meters buffer zone for farming activities along the White Volta Basin. We need to be able to also construct adjacent dams that will collect the water apart from just the Polgo Dam to be able to address that. In case of the NDC manifesto, they didn't even say anything about the flooding. And we hope that is something that they will reflect again, because I listened to NDC flag bearer who said that their manifesto is the people's manifesto. So if it's the people's manifesto, we expect them to come and listen to the plight of the farmers and capture those issues against in their manifesto. It's not over. We are still waiting for them. So if they come to do that, it's something that we welcome it. But the situation where politicians will come and deceive farmers to vote for them and they'll go and sleep and forget about us must be a thing of the past.
Now, Chief Executive Officer of Jandel Limited, Afi Amoro, is promising more side attractions as her outfit gears up to decorate some principal streets and key landmarks with lights ahead of the Christmas celebrations. Speaking at a ceremony to launch the event, she stated the decorations will start in November. Madame Afi Amoro wowed Ghanaians in December 2019 with her hashtag Light Up Accra event, which turned the capital city into a city of lights.
This year, there is going to be a place where we call the Christmas Village. And that is where a lot of the pomp and pageantry, there will be monumental decorations there. There will be fun. COVID, we are going to observe all the protocols of COVID protocols are all going to be observed. And this Christmas Village is going to take the place of that liberation place where we will see more people relax there, and this place will just be for sightseeing. So that place will be more controlled. So, I mean, it's all in the works. We are still designing, we are still formulating our ideas, and we think that with God on our side, and because it is a good thing, it will come to pass. We are envisaging to do it in November, so really to do it earlier, because all over the world we realize that Christmas actually starts much earlier than what happens here. And I believe that that sense also, you know, it also kicks people to be more, to think more about other people. What are they going to give to people? My mother, my sister, our workers, and other. It sets people thinking early. And so people now become more giving.
Meanwhile, Accra Mayor Mohammed J. Soa says the decorations by Jandel will incorporate some of Ghana's cultural designs.
This whole idea was conceived somewhere in 2018, where we thought of lightening up of Accra, and we wrote letters to all high-rise properties owners within the city to voluntarily light up their properties. And as you see in many countries as it done, the reception was not encouraging. So in 2018, we had an engagement with Jandal, which is a company that does events and does something like that. We were quite excited with what they came up with. So together, we started to fundraise to support this whole idea. They had to import some of these things. And what was spectacular about what we did was that it was culturally in tune with what we are doing. So you had a canoe, you had an abandoned truck, you had abandoned ties, so we're doing recycling as well to use as materials for the light up Accra. It was big, but this year we plan for it to be bigger and better, in the sense that we are adding a Christmas village. A Christmas village is going to be located at the Nationalism Park, which is in between the Freedom and Justice Arch and then that of the Accra Sports Stadium. That it's going to be there. And that is where we want kids to come and spend some time over there.
Hi, good morning. Welcome to Business. My name is Darryl Kwao. Commercial banks say they have advanced over 4 billion cedis in fresh credit to businesses during the COVID-19 period. This represents a significant increase over what has been given to enterprises from March to April this year. President of the Ghana Association of Bankers, Alhassan Andani, tells Joy Business the credit has been directed to sectors that will help stimulate growth.
We are allocating credit to the right sectors. And there are some sectors now who don't need credit. They need accommodation. So if you take the hotels, they've taken large volumes of loans to build this infrastructure, which they were paying according to a time schedule. Because the world has shut down, if you were looking for this hotel to be paying, so the entire 2020, no bank, no financier will be expecting hotels to repay loans. No financier will be expecting an airline company to be repaying loans. Nobody will be expecting all these small traders who plied their trade on the street to be repaying loans just because their world had come to a halt. Banks have to absorb all of that. Then, of course, you have all the telcos, data, all the fintechs are flourishing. They need money, and we're giving money to them. And I was happy to look at the economic data recently, agriculture. And I've always held that with all the monetary loosening that we are seeing, if we were plowing that into local production and local consumption, the fear of causing inflation would not arise.
From the Ghana Association of Bankers' perspective in terms of credit extension since COVID began, I mean, I remember the last time we were talking about 3 billion, not the exact numbers per se, but in terms of total credit extension to the various manufacturing, pharmaceutical industries, do we have any data as we speak right now?
Look, we've been polling it consistently. The central bank has been monitoring it. I couldn't tell it top of my head, but I'm sure where we sit today, we're well over 4 billion, cedis in terms of total credit, whether it's being rearranged, new credits, existing credits that were held but which are now being extended. It continues to flow through.
And it's time for sports. George Addo Jr. is here.
Yeah.
Exciting weekend coming up, but there is some interesting posts on social media.
Yeah. Interesting posts on social media by Lionel Messi. Obviously, we're heading straight to Barcelona. We know that Lionel Messi wanted to leave the club, and he was convinced to stay, or he realized it wasn't possible to leave again, so he had to stay. They have been issues at Barcelona, I tell you. The fact that Luis Suarez had to go to Atletico Madrid. He attempted to go to Juventus and then to Atletico Madrid. There's a feeling that he's not been treated well by the club after all he did for the club. And you know that Lionel Messi and Luis Suarez are great friends. And in previous years, anytime he has made a point, he said he wants to play around his friends. And one of the reasons why he would have loved to leave the club at this point was, one, because Barcelona could not win. Barcelona didn't look like a team that could win. And the next thing is that, well, of course, his friends are all being sacked from the club, the likes of Rakitic. And there you go, you've got Luis Suarez. And he's posted on Instagram, stating that Luis Suarez was pushed out of the club.
That's a serious allegation.
That is a serious allegation. It's not too cool when it's coming from Lionel Messi to say that his best friend Luis Suarez was pushed out of the club.
But is there some truth to it? Because we heard some rumors that, Suarez was looking for a club, basically.
I mean, clearly, what Lionel Messi wanted was that he wanted a winning side. A winning side can only be put together if the old guys are allowed to go and fresh blood in. So Barcelona is just on a rebuilding exercise where they have decided to get the old guys out, bring in new blood, fresh blood, and start building again.
So that's what we have there. Not for them to kick you out like they have done.
Yes.
But the truth is, nothing surprises me anymore.
This is even surprising.
Help me understand this. They are clearing out the Barca team to put together a winning team.
Yes.
Basically for Messi.
Not exactly for Messi. At least for Messi, the time left is going to spend with the club. That's fine. But basically have a team that can win. This morning we're seeing pictures of Bayern Munich's winning team, the Champions League in 2013, and what they did in 2020. You look at the team, same ideas, different generations, but they suffered the pain of rebuilding, and they are enjoying the success today. Bayern beat Sevilla in the UEFA Super Cup, and they have won the Champions League, and they did a treble, last season. That's what clubs should be able to do. The problem here is, I want to ask you, do you think Lionel Messi will give his best to Barcelona? Because thoughts like this, comments like this, doesn't just augur well for the club when they're about to play a La Liga game and are looking forward to a good season. It doesn't really work out well for any Barcelona fan.
I think it serves Barca best if they let Messi go. If they,
I mean, I was just
go
thinking,
beyond the Messi era.
Because Messi is bitter. And the fact that he can't play with his friends, and the fact that he thinks that the players who are going out are not going out on merit. They are going out because people don't like them. He's not happy with those in the board. So that is an interesting one to see how it all pans out. They said Messi is like a baby, though. When he gets on the pitch and sees the football, he starts playing. But these days, Messi has been speaking. He's been tweeting. He's been hitting on Instagram and everywhere.
Which is why I don't think that relationship helps. This is a Messi I've never seen before. Like
of course, writing, putting up a lot of things.
We've never seen this Messi before. We don't expect it for him. I think that the club should just let him go and begin looking for another. Trying to.
Well, let's see. And the point about letting Lionel Messi go is as simple as that. I mean, the club says we cannot let our best player go for free. If Messi is going to go, he must go with some huge price tag. And that was a 700 million euros buyout clause that he couldn't get any club to buy. That's 700 million. If you buy one player and his buyout clause alone is 700 million before you go and think about how to pay him about 1 million euro a year, I mean, a month, that's another one you want to look out for. So it's
700. Yeah. Has any player ever?
No. I mean, the highest was Neymar. What we saw, 200 million euros. That was Neymar in excess. And Lionel Messi.
Barca doesn't play when it comes to money.
No, but this is Lionel Messi. Lionel Messi is the world's best player. The most paid player.
Yeah.
He is the be-all and end-all when it comes to football.
Yeah.
He holds the Barcelona GDP. He controls a lot. People come to the Camp Nou. About 5,000 seats are reserved for him every game. That is Lionel Messi. That is the kind of player we're talking about. You can't allow him to go for even 100 or 300 or 400. If I was Barca, maybe.
But do you think this is money that they can make back?
Yeah,
if any team, let's say like a PSG gets the money.
Oh yes, you can make back, because instantly, if you buy Lionel Messi to Accra Hearts now, the club sales, you're going to make all your money. The sales, merchandise, everything that you've got. I mean, the jerseys, what else? The sponsorship deals. He's coming with sponsors who are going to be with Messi, and by then you have a relationship with the club. So he's a big player. The only question is if Barcelona can pick everything up from him. But it's a good weekend. Let's see. It's a good weekend.
Do you think we should start a Momo contribution for Hearts of Oak?
No. Let's leave our clubs alone. Because having Messi is one thing, making him happy is another. And paying him the 1 million.
Oh no, we'll give him some cake.
Messi ends his net salary is about 570,000 euros. 570,000 euros. That's almost half. And that's his net.
Net.
The gross is like 1 million.
For every month?
Every week, please.
570,000 euros.
Yeah, that's your guy.
A week.
That's your guy. You like him, eh? So get ready. So let's look at the games to come this weekend. The Manchester City. The
game for the weekend.
Yeah, of course, the Manchester City-Leicester City game is a big one.
Yeah.
And everybody's looking forward to that. But the likes of Chelsea and Manchester United,
Liverpool, Arsenal
try
as
to
well.
work at that. Liverpool, Arsenal, yeah, it's not bad. Okay, let's see how it all goes out there.
I just want to say a quick good morning to Aniela Alote. Aniela Alote, good morning.
Watching this. Everything will be fine.
Enjoy the weekend.
You have a tie as well in the
Eat early before the game. That's all I can do.
So you have a tie as well as Arsenal in the Carabao Cup, and Chelsea will play Tottenham Hotspur in the Carabao Cup on Tuesday. Games are coming in thick and fast. We've got the French Open to look forward to. It starts on Sunday. Can Rafa Nadal win the 19th Grand Slam title? Is in. And we are in Sochi for Formula One. We've got Lewis Hamilton hoping to catch Michael Schumacher on 91, career wins, if he's able to win in Sochi. So it's a big weekend. And if you love NBA, like I know you love NBA, the Eastern Conference Finals, we've got Miami Heat leading 3-1 at the moment. They need just one game to wrap it all up. And the Western Conference Finals, of course, between the Lakers and the Denver Nuggets, still ongoing. So there's so much to look forward to this weekend.
Looks like we're going to see a Miami and Lakers.
As it's going.
Yeah, Miami Lakers.
It's not quite settled between the Lakers and Denver Nuggets. But of course, obviously, you expect LeBron James to come through with other guys. Why not?
Thanks, George Adu Jr. for bringing us.
And you're looking nice in your 25.
Thank you. You are also looking very lovely in your
MGL 25.
So George actually flew the fabric to Giorgio Armani in Italy. Yeah. And they had it made for him.
And Daniel paid. That's your spot.
You're live on News Desk. We're not going. Stay with us.